You're in the meeting. Someone asks for your opinion, and your mind goes completely blank. You know this moment. I know you know this moment, and I want you to stay right there for a second, because that moment is exactly why I created this podcast. Welcome to Real Talk English, the solo podcast that trains you to communicate, not to pass an exam, not to memorize grammar rules, to actually speak clearly, confidently, and naturally, in real situations that matter. I'm your host, and every episode we take one real communication problem. The kind that makes your heart beat faster, the kind that makes you go quiet when you should be speaking, and we fix it together. Before we get into today's episode, I want to take a second, because someone left a comment this week that genuinely made my day. They wrote, "Teaching through stories is so powerful. It makes the learning process feel natural and less like a chore. I'm a big fan of this approach, and I use it for my channel as well because it's the best way to keep students engaged. Keep it up." I read that and I just stopped for a moment, because that comment came from someone who also teaches English, someone who understands exactly what we're trying to build here at Real Talk English. And they said, "Keep it up." So I want to say thank you, genuinely. That kind of message reminds me exactly why I started this. And if you're listening right now, maybe you've never left a comment. Maybe you've been following for a while but never said anything. That's okay. But I want you to know, every comment, every message, every share, it matters. It tells me that this is working, that the stories are landing, that you are actually learning. Because that's the whole point of Real Talk English, not grammar rules on a whiteboard, not a textbook exercise. Real stories, real situations, real English, the kind you actually need. And if this approach is working for you, share this episode with one person today. One person who is struggling with English. One person who gave up on traditional lessons. One person who just needs to hear it differently, because that's how this community grows. Not through algorithms, through you. All right, let's get into episode 1. Today's topic is something every single person learning English has experienced: the freeze. That moment when your mind goes blank and the words just disappear. And I'm not talking about beginners. I'm talking about people who have been studying English for years. People who understand everything they hear. People who write perfectly in English. And yet, the moment someone puts them on the spot, nothing comes out. If that's you, this episode is for you. Here's what's actually happening inside your brain when you freeze. It's almost never because you don't know the words. It's because you are doing two things at the exact same time. You are thinking about what to say, and you are watching yourself say it. You are the speaker and the critic at the same time. That split attention, that is what creates the gap. So the solution is not to study more vocabulary. The solution is to give your brain a bridge, a phrase that buys you time, without making you sound lost. A phrase that keeps you in the conversation, while your thoughts are still catching up. Here are the 4 phrases I want you to learn today. Not memorize. Learn. There is a difference. First one. Let me think about that for a second. Say it with me. Let me think about that for a second. That phrase is underestimated. It is direct. It is honest. And in any professional or social situation, it signals that you care enough to answer properly, not just to fill the silence. It tells the other person, I am taking your question seriously. That is not weakness. That is intelligence. Second phrase. What I mean is, this is recovery language. When you have started a sentence, and it is going somewhere you did not intend, you stop. You say this, and you restart. It sounds completely natural. Native speakers use it every single day, and nobody notices, because it sounds like thinking out loud, which is exactly what it is. Third phrase. My take on this is, this one does 2 things at once. It signals that you have a position, and it gives you the space to form that position while you are already speaking. Even if you do not fully know what you think yet, the phrase holds your place in the conversation. It says, I am here. I have something to say. Give me one moment. And fourth. This is the one I want you to really hold on to. Good question. Let me come back to that in just a moment. not because you are avoiding it, because it gives you control. You acknowledge the question. You set your own pace, and you bought yourself exactly the time you need, and the other person feels heard. Because you told them their question was good. Everyone wins. Now let me show you what this looks like in real life. Friday afternoon. A product team is reviewing a campaign before it goes to the client. 6 people in the room, 3 of them senior. The presenter has just finished. And then the head of strategy, the sharpest person in the room, looks directly at the one non-native English speaker and says, "You have worked with this client longer than anyone here. What do you think of the tone? Does it fit them?" The person they are asking. Let's call him Daniel. Daniel knows this client well. He has a very clear opinion. The campaign is good. But the tone is slightly too casual for a conservative brand. He knows this. He has known this for 20 minutes. But the room is looking at him. And his brain, for 5 full seconds, produces nothing. He has a choice. Version 1. What most people do. I think it seems okay, maybe a little. I'm not sure. Version 2. What Daniel does instead. Good question. Let me think about that properly for a second. Then, after a short pause, he says, "My take on this is that the campaign is strong, but the tone sits slightly too informal for how this client presents themselves externally. I would look at the last 2 paragraphs specifically. Same thought. Same Daniel. Completely different result. The first version told the room, I am uncertain. The second version told the room, I take this seriously enough to answer it properly. The pause did not disappear. He used it. That is the difference between someone who freezes and someone who communicates. Not vocabulary, not grammar. The bridge. Now, your turn. I am going to say each phrase once, and I want you to say it after me. Out loud. Not in your head. Out loud. Full volume. Even if you're on the bus. Even if you feel a little silly. Say it. Let me think about that for a second. What I mean is, and this is the key part, my take on this is, good question. Let me come back to that in just a moment. I wasn't done yet. One more second. Good. The point is not perfection. The point is that you spoke. Now, the most important thing I will say today. When people freeze, there is one response that almost everyone gives. And it is the most damaging thing you can say. They apologize for the pause. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm not sure how to say this. Listen to me. The moment you apologize for the pause becomes the story. You have told the room you are uncertain, underprepared, overwhelmed. Whether that is true or not, you said it first. So instead of that, say this. Let me take a second to gather my thoughts. What I want to say is this. 1 sentence. No apology. Full authority. The pause is no longer awkward. It is intentional. And intentional is powerful. Here is what I want you to carry out of today. The freeze is not a language problem. Thousands of native English speakers freeze in conversations every single day. They just have different words to cover it, because nobody ever taught them to apologize for thinking. Fluency does not mean continuous, uninterrupted speech. Fluency means being able to say what you mean, in a way that lands, in a conversation that moves forward. Pausing to gather your thoughts is not a failure in that definition. It is part of it. Your challenge this week, 1 conversation, just 1. When you feel the freeze coming, instead of apologizing, say, let me think about that for a second. Then think, out loud, then speak. That is it. 1 moment, 1 sentence, 1 different choice, and notice what happens. Not just to the conversation, to how you feel about yourself in that moment. That is episode 1 of Real Talk English. 3 phrases. Take them with you everywhere this week. Let me think about that for a second. My take on this is, I wasn't done yet. 1 more second. And remember, this podcast only grows because of people like you. So if something clicked today, share it. Send it to 1 person who freezes in English, not because they need to be fixed,
because they deserve to know. It is not their fault. Episode 2 is already waiting for you. The conversation you keep avoiding. How to say the hard thing. Clearly, directly, and without the guilt. I will see you there.